Guess what, my friend? This week I sold a painting. After starting this series about how to make money from your art, I sold a piece. And this episode was going to be all about how to sell your art in a gallery. So how appropriate. So I've got lots to tell you how it all happened and how you or someone you know can make it happen as well. So we covered how to price your artworks last time, so you can have a look at a previous episode on that. And next week we're going to talk about online galleries. This week is about getting your art into galleries or even into exhibitions, but we'll talk about exhibitions even in a later episode. But today it's more about galleries, getting into galleries. So I'm going to be brutally honest with you about galleries. Even though I own a gallery, I'll give you some positives, but also I'll give you some negatives or some things that to look out for. For me, I bought a gallery because I was disheartened about how artists are cared for in galleries. So I can talk about it because I have a gallery myself. And at the time, just before I bought this gallery business, I went looking for galleries. I thought, well, I'll see what's around. I went to a gallery. I had a $10,000 piece, which is this one here. It took me months and months to paint. It was very detailed and I knew that it was worth that. And I said to them, well, it's worth $10,000. And they said, well, we will only sell it for $5,000 and then we will take 50%. So a $10,000 painting for me was going to end up being $2,500. I mean, that's still a lovely, decent amount of money. But for me, if you listen to my previous episode about pricing art, I felt like my artwork was worth $10,000. I would have liked, I probably would have come down to $6,000 or maybe $5,000, but not $2,500. So that was really disheartening. And I just kept thinking about other artists and the challenges they have. And look, not all galleries do 50%, and certainly mine doesn't, but I have a little bit of a different system. So it's really, really important as you're going out, if you are looking for a gallery to get your work in, to check how much commission they take, how they care for you. I know I went recently into some galleries to see if I could be represented because I'm selling my own business. So I'm trying to work out how to sell my work if I don't have my own gallery. And some of the galleries I went to, it didn't feel like they cared for the art. They had bits of paper stuck on the wall that was crooked and stuck on with blue tack. And I'm like, with the prices on it, I'm like, if you're taking like 50% for me, I want to feel like I'm getting what it's worth, like that you're promoting me heaps and I'm on your website really evident and prominent and you're caring for me when people come in and on the wall, things like that. So, some galleries will take a lot less, 40%, 30%. We actually only take 20%, but we do charge $50 a month, sort of like rent. But what I encourage artists to do is sell cards and sell smaller pieces of art so that can pay for their rent. And then when their bigger pieces sell, they get most of that back. And it seems to have worked really well. And it is a challenge for galleries. And I understand why they charge that much, because you certainly don't sell a painting every day all the time. And some galleries really do rely on that sale. So if it doesn't come in, they won't get any money for rent. So I understand it, but you want to make sure that you're getting your money's worth. Because I thought about this for some time and what would I like to do if I took my art to a gallery, how would I feel cared for? And I thought that was a really good way. And it seems to have worked really well over the years. And we've sold quite a lot of art and had lots of happy customers and happy artists and happy gallery owner. So everyone's happy doing it that way. I'm not saying it's the most perfect way to do it, but we found it's really helpful. In a minute, I'm going to tell you about how I sold this piece and how all that happened. But I just want to tell you about some of the positive things or the good reasons to actually get into a gallery. If your art is in a gallery, it's wonderful because that person sees it in person. And I honestly believe it's a much better experience for the buyer because you're actually getting to experience it. It's like a live performance almost, getting that feeling from it. So that's a really positive thing. You also get, more traffic coming through and they can see other works that are sitting around that might be yours. So they get to sort of brush past things that they may not have if they looked online specifically. And galleries can offer, I know we do, but there are galleries out there, and I've been to a few that really do offer a really lovely personal experience, and they really do care for your art, which is really lovely. The other thing is you can build sort of local warmth, local connections. People will actually come into my gallery at the moment and they're always looking at a certain artist and they've bought quite a few pieces of that one artist and they keep coming back and having a look at another one. And they love that spontaneity of just coming in and going, oh, there's a new piece. I'd really like to buy another one of that particular person. So there's some lovely things about having a gallery, supporting you as an artist. But I do really want to encourage you, if you're going into a gallery, to ask lots of questions, to go and experience it as if you're not an artist, walk around as if you're someone who wants to buy. What's the foot traffic like? What's the people who are behind the counter like? Go on their website and check all that out. Do lots of checking before you actually commit to a gallery. But I really encourage you to give it a go. I think many people make it work, and it might be that your work is just so perfect for that particular clientele. I know for me, my art, I was starting to think I wasn't ever going to sell another piece. It's in a gallery that's more in a tourist area where not many people are there looking for a piece of art. They're just looking at the lookout. There's a lovely view, but they're not actually coming into the gallery to buy a piece of art specifically, just to look around. So I know I would like to move my art into an area where people are actually coming knowing that there will be art there that's, decently priced. That's where I'm sort of heading with that. So have a think about where your art might suit best and what gallery is right for you. So I'm going to tell you the story about how I sold this piece of art. But first of all, excuse me, I wanted to show you what I did for the artist. I actually put together a certificate of authenticity, and I had a little folder with my business card. And what I do is I actually, put all the details on here, and I have like a little wax seal with a little flower on it as well. You could get something that has your own initials or something on it. But what I wanted to point out was below you can actually get this free download. I have a document that you can download that has information about how you can document your own artworks, because it was so easy for me, because I had already had all of the details for every piece of art that I've done already up on a website online. It's called Artwork Archive. I am not an affiliate. I just love it. It costs a tiny bit, but it's really, really worth it. So all I needed to do was go in and look, what was the year? I couldn't remember I can't remember all these things. The year, the name, the dimensions, the medium, and I have a catalogue number too, which is fantastic. And in my file, I can actually write in their name and their address and where the actual painting is now. So if ever I want to go and find it and say hello, I can knock on their door and go, can I have a look at my painting again? Just to have a little say hello to it. So I really encourage you to go to that free download. There's 3 different options there. If you're not into doing online stuff, there's also one that you can print out and have in a catalogue in a folder. And there's also a Google Doc as well that you can just document everything in there. And I encourage you to put a photo of your artwork in a folder as well, somewhere with the name on it. So just wanted to say that before I tell you how it all happened. So this is what happened. It was really interesting. We're open for about 5 days a week, and I was there, I think it was a Friday afternoon, and this couple came in, and I knew them because they'd been in many times. Now, this is an interesting thing to note. The locals, love coming in and looking at the work, and they had been coming in for 7 years. And they had always, 7 years, my people, hello. So he came in and said, we've always wanted to buy a piece of your art. And I knew that they'd bought some significant pieces of art in the gallery before. So I knew that they were sort of, collectors or really, appreciated art. And I did not for 1 second did they think they were going to buy a piece. And they just said, we really want to know what pieces you have for sale. Oh, you mean my art? Oh, okay, sure. So we went around the gallery and we had a look. Got a few pieces out, and then I started to get the vibe that they were really serious about this. So I got my little leaflet out that has all the prices in it and everything, and handed it to them and showed them the ones that they liked, that they might like, and they said, oh, we really like this one here. And then we measured it up, and this is an interesting thing too to take note of if you want to open a gallery, or you want to suggest it to a gallery owner. I said, look, would you like to, because I knew them and they didn't live far away, like 1 minute's drive, would you like to take the piece of art, put it up in your room, that you're going to have, and just see if it works for you? And they're like, really? Oh, wow, that would be amazing. So they did. They took it home. The next day, I was in a class, and at the corner of my eye, I saw him walk in. I was really nervous. I'm like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen. And he said, oh, guess what? I haven't got the artwork with me. I'm like, oh my goodness, you're selling, you're buying? And he said, yep, let's go, let's do it. So we did. So we did the transaction and off it went. And at the time I didn't have the certificate ready, so I just said, look, I'll drop it round to you. And he also said, oh, there's just a tiny little scuff on one of the corners. And I said, that's fine, I'll come round and just touch it up for you. And he was really grateful for my help with that. So that was a really interesting experience and bizarrely timely, because we are talking about this whole thing of selling your art, and it was really encouraging. And I love it when I sell art of other artists and I can see the encouragement it is for them. So I really want to encourage you, if you're an artist and want to sell your art, or if you know someone and you've just watched this video because you are interested, you know someone who's an artist, just encourage them to get their art out there and go and introduce themselves into a gallery. This was one other thing I wanted to show you. Have I got it here? Do. I did this in order to go into a gallery. So this is one of my paintings. You can sort of see, see over here, you can see part of it. So there's two paintings that join together. So I actually got a little folder done up, and inside it I've actually got a whole heap of my paintings printed out with my bio on the back, so that I can actually leave that at a gallery. I can pick out a few select ones that I think a certain gallery would like, and I can put my business card here, or I've actually got it all printed out on there as well. Leave my business, so I can leave it with them, so that if ever I really want to go back, I might be able to remind them that I left a little bit of information, or you can ring them a bit later. So there is one or two galleries I did leave some things at, and I might think about it. I'm still actually tossing around whether to put my work online instead of a gallery. So next episode, we're going to be talking with another artist who not that long ago, well, actually in COVID, she took up painting, and now she has sold a huge amount of art online. So we're going to have a look at that and listen to the interview and hear her actually pretty much convinced me that I think doing online is a good way to go. So we'll look at that next episode. Don't forget, people, to go to the free download. It's going to be really helpful to have all your information in one spot, so that when you do go into galleries, when you do want to print things out, they're all in the one spot. It's made a huge difference for me. I love doing that. And also, as I said, we're going to talk about exhibitions down the track. If you're going to go in an exhibition, they want all those details as well. And you want to get that exhibition out online, and you don't want to spend half the night trying to find all the information. It's really helpful. Go and have a look at that. It's a gift from me to you to help you on your way. Or if you know someone who is an artist and you want to help them, just direct them to that as well. Like always, I'd love to hear any comments of how you found this video helpful. It's always great for me to know. And also, if there's any things that you would really like me to talk about, or people you'd like me to interview, or anything to do with oil painting. So I'm here to help you on your way with your painting journey, especially with oils. And as you know, I love painting oils to help me with my own mental health, for my calmness, and so many of my students do the same too. So keep an eye out on the text under this video. There's always exciting things to join up to, some memberships and some courses down the track. And I hope you can join me with some of those. It'll be a bit of fun. So until next time, keep painting, keep creating, keep encouraging those around you to do creativity too. I look forward to sharing with you next week an interview with an artist who has gone amazingly online. See you next week.